Hi, and welcome to SparkStart's TA Leader Series, where we get to talk to some of the leading people in the industry about what they're thinking, what they're asking questions about, what trends they're seeing, what's on their mind. And today I'm thrilled to have Shawn Kessler with us. Shawn, would you introduce yourself for our audience?
Certainly. My name is Shawn Kessler. I'm the partner at Aloysius Butler and Clark that heads up the recruitment marketing and employer branding division. Nobody likes to say Aloysius Butler and Clark, so by all means, please refer to us as A, B, and C. Nobody wants to spell Aloysius for certain, so by all means, A, B, and C it is.
Okay, great. Especially since I'm dyslexic, I'm never going to take a shot at that. But one of the reasons I'm excited to have you as a guest is you've written a book that I have just plowed through, read it on the plane coming home from Recfest. And there are lots of ideas in there that I think, let me recommend people pick up a copy of it. But there are a couple of things. One of the first things that struck me that I'd love to hear more thoughts on is you talk about knowing your audience and focusing on what candidates want to hear and what they want to learn. I see so many individuals who have their employer brand or their EVP and they've got their three tenets that they want to get out there no matter what. And they've never asked the candidate, are these things important to you?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear you just talk about that a little bit because you did a great job in the book on all of that.
I appreciate that. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. So we see so many organizations that want to stay focused on me, me, me. We love to talk about ourselves. We love to put the things that we think are important about us out there. But very few times do we see organizations that take the time to say, how is this actually relevant or important to the folks that make up this organization, right? The value that we try to bring forward to the folks that we work with is understanding what are the things that are a priority for the talent pool. What are the things that are they're going to make, put a smile on their face, bring them joy, get them excited about wanting to be there. What are those things? And then how do those things match up? What is it that you can bring to the table that's authentic, that's true, that's real, that matches up with those wants and needs of the talent pool? So it's the best of both worlds. You're providing for what they want, but you're also able to put your best foot forward as well.
And you always want to be honest about what you're offering. It's not candidates want
Yeah.
this, so we're going to claim we have that. But doing that
It's funny,
matching, yeah.
but that's one of the fallacies I actually talk about in the book. It's the say anything fallacy that I list in the book where, they understand what people want, and all of a sudden you see ads that are out there and they're making every claim and every possible, statement, saying anything they think they can possibly say to get the talent to come in the door. But anybody who's been in this industry long enough knows that when you do that, they're going to go right back out the door as quickly as they came in. But boy, do they leave a trail and a path of havoc behind them as they go. Yeah, you've got to be very, very careful of that.
Uh, and we've seen in similar things. We were talking to a client that had really severe turnover, and they were confused because their employee surveys, everybody was happy, happy, happy on the employee surveys. And we said, let's take a look at those employee surveys. It's questions like, are you happy with the color of the carpet in the lobby? Oh, everybody loves the color. You asking the right questions. Are these things that matter to them? If you want positive responses, you can get that. Anybody can design a survey for you that gets that. But
Wait, I'll tell you, so there's so much truth in that. When we do our employer branding initiatives, when we go through the process of diving deep and asking the questions, we have some clients that only want you to ask the questions that they know they're going to get positive answers on. And I can't tell you how often we have to encourage them to ask all the questions and ask the hard ones. Because when you have good leadership, your good leadership wants to know those answers because ultimately they look at them as opportunities. And that's really what they are. You have an opportunity to learn something that is a perceived negative that you now have a chance to fix. And when you're only willing to ask the easy questions, you're only ever going to get the superficial stuff that's on top. But if you can get to the root of the things that are a struggle, oh my goodness, the opportunities are endless for, improving your organization.
and this leads right into my second question. The second point you made in the book that I really loved is you said that candidates always want the full package, right? They want high compensation, they want work-life balance, they want engaging work, and it's important to be clear on what you don't offer
Yeah.
because you want people to stay. So you talk about, not offering, like, do you talk about the things that might repel people?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so it always comes down to truth, right? We always have to put forward the truth. And there's sometimes, we do a lot of work in healthcare, and you can't tell a physician that you're always going to be able to work from home, or that surgeons, you're not going to be able to work from home, right? Like, you have to be realistic about the situation and realistic about what it's like to actually be there and to perform the job and what's important to the organization. But it's the give and the get. What is the candidate going to give? What is the candidate going to get for that? And the same thing on the side of the organization. What is the organization going to give, and what is the expectation that they're going to get back from the employee? And I think when you look at it that way, it's okay if you have people say, this isn't for me. Because I'd rather them figure that out and determine that before they come in than come in and be here for 6 months, make just a train wreck of a situation, and then walk out the door. And we all know that with social media right now, everybody has a voice. So when they go out the door, they go out the door angry, and now they're spewing, on Glassdoor or wherever, that they didn't weren't told the truth in the hiring process, and that's never good.
Yeah,
So
or even if they don't make it all the way through your process, we're hearing so much about it. So everyone's seeing an uptick in applications because candidates are using AI and doing mass applications, but the
yeah,
dropout rates are so high that all the efficiency that they were hoping they would get, they aren't necessarily seeing because they've got
yeah,
people who don't even know where they've applied. So if you can get candidates to do a better job to self-select in or self-select out, your whole process improves for
yeah,
that. And heaven forbid if you don't catch somebody before they get all the way through, even if it's a negative, if you told them up front and they decided, okay, gee, I really don't want to work that weekend shift once a month, but that's part of the deal. So I'm signing up for that. That's
100%.
very different than the kind of gotcha. Oh, you didn't tell me I had to do that. That's a very different experience.
Yeah, it takes me back to a personal experience, if I may. I have a daughter who just graduated from college, and right after college, she actually found a job in her field, and went through the whole process, did the whole interviewing thing, got the offer, read over the offer, everything looked great. She signed it. She showed up for the first week of work, and everything that they had promised was now out the window. The compensation structure was different. The hours that she was going to work was different. Like, everything had changed. And I think they looked at
Wow.
it as well. We have this young person coming in. They're not going to be willing to step back out. And I was proud of my daughter. My daughter stood up and said, "This isn't what we agreed on." And my daughter said, I'm not doing this," and she left. And I got to tell you, my daughter's opinion on that place significantly went down. And there's no reason for that. When you do it right, people will respect the truth. They'll respect the honesty that you bring forward. And it shows you as an organization that's going to be truthful about who you are. And who doesn't want to work for a group that, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're good at. These are the things that we struggle. Come join us and help us pull through those things that we struggle, like, be part of the solution. But yeah, it's better to be truthful.
Absolutely. One last topic before I let you go that I was really pleased to see in your book that I don't hear talked about a lot is you said you talk to clients about really digging down and looking at where their applicants come from on their career site. That
Mhm.
all employers are convinced that all candidates come through their career site. That often is where all the applications come from. But they're not coming through the home pages in the introductory site. They're being referred over through any of the job boards and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And we look at the job posting pages, which is the page that our data says 97.5% of candidates only go to that job posting page and bounce. And we
yeah,
look at how poor the information is there and how limited it is there. And quite honestly, how deadly boring it is.
yeah.
And we're saying that's where you need to put your hiring manager video. That's where you need to put all of this engaging information. What are your thoughts on that? How do you encourage
You are
clients to do
so
things?
correct. You are so correct. So as A, B, and C, we've been building recruitment websites for clients for well over 15 years. So we have so much data that shows this. Everybody thinks the front door of their recruitment website is like the organization's main website, and it absolutely is not. If you go back and look at your own, anybody who's listening to this, go back and look at where your traffic's really coming from. It's not coming from your main organization. We're seeing 90+% come into the individual job posting pages, just like you said. So we are huge believers in how do you make that job posting page as robust and strong at telling your employer branding message, to provide very easy navigation, to give them the easy access to a recruiter if it's a difficult to fill role, give them similar opportunities. And the other thing that we notice is even the content on the right side of the job posting is more clicked on than stuff in the header. So making sure that we're putting the most relevant information and the stuff that the candidate needs to get to that I'm interested point, get it all on that page. Don't assume they're going to look around because they're probably not. And it frankly, it speaks volumes to how much better a lot of organizations could do rather than they have an ATS that just has like the basic job posting and it's apply or nothing. And you start to realize how many people, exactly what you're saying, they're coming in, they're looking at it, they're not ready to apply because you haven't told them about your employer brand. You haven't given them any reason why they should want to be there. All you've said is you must be able to lift 50 pounds. You know what I mean? All of these like crazy things that we put in job postings. But really what they're looking for is the why. Why should I be here? And too many organizations aren't doing that in their job postings. They give them all the reasons the organization or all the things the organization wants out of them and no explanation of what they should want out of the organization.
And I can't resist. I'll tell you, the really good employers put a video of their hiring manager there, and Sparkstart will do that. And
100%.
those results are phenomenal when people get to meet their boss, not the
Yes.
general employee testimonial, but the person they report to. All of a sudden they connect, and it changes everything. So,
But it's
Shawn,
the old adage. If I may, it's the old adage. People don't leave an organization because of anything other than typically the person they report to. So, I mean, when you can make a connection with that person, that's a great thing.
it's a great thing. So, Shawn, I could talk to you all afternoon, and there are days that we probably will, but I'll let you go. But thank you for joining us. If people want to know more, are you open to them reaching out to you on LinkedIn?
Sure, absolutely. Please.
Great. And the book is Built to Attract. Highly recommend you pick up a copy, and thank you.
Thank you.